She's not ready yet.
Now, I meant to launch Facebook on my iPad and I didn't do that. Are we live? I think we're live.
Yeah, Dad, you got to pay attention.
You have to pay attention. Dang, you know? Hey, well, welcome everybody. Welcome. I'm David Shakavich.
And I'm Sam Shakavich.
And we are partners in Carolina Retirement Planners. And this is our weekly happy half hour. How many weeks have we been doing it now, Sam?
Ooh, this is a big one. This is our 30th, our big 30, 30 happy half hours.
That's right. This is where we invite you to come in and join us for half an hour of some hopefully educational, but hopefully entertaining as well topic, usually on the topic of retirement, though we did have that great one on making drinks just before Christmas, cocktail formulation by our good friend at the City Club. So,
you know, I don't know if I told you this, Dad, but I ended up making the cranberry one with the cranberry and the rosemary simple syrup with the Tito's.
You did not tell me.
Mm-hmm. Neil and I on Christmas made a big batch of that, and it was really nice. It was really nice.
You didn't offer to bring any over to me either, you know.
I sure didn't. No, you guys went. I think you went to the cabin, didn't you?
That's right. We were up at the cabin. Well, I see that Bill, Cindy, Miranda, and Brad have joined us.
And Norm, welcome.
Norm is a top fan, you know.
Ooh.
And now, by the way, if you have joined us, if you look down below there on Facebook, there'll be a place where you can share and you can click watch party. And if you click watch party, it'll tell friends that you're on Facebook with that you're here watching this, and it might incite them to come and enjoy it as well. And we've got one that everybody needs to know about today. What is our topic for today, Sam?
So today we are going to be talking about RMDs, or required minimum distributions.
Now that may sound boring, but there's actually, if you look at it right, there's some really interesting there.
Yes, and
there's some really new tricks that have come out of changes in the laws this past year or so. But we always like to celebrate the day. What day was it last week? I forget. It was National what day? Maybe Amy remembers. Amy is in the background helping us here. Running all the show.
I know last week Rick came in and told us it was actually National Hug Day.
Yeah, but we didn't do that. Now I don't even remember what we said it was.
I know it was something that was not as cool as National Hug Day.
Okay, whatever, it was something like that. Well, this week it is National Lego Day. So, you know,
Legos have captivated children and adults alike across the world, aggravating parents as they
bruising
on
so
them.
many bare feet on the carpet, you know. So if you got a Lego set around the house, break it out today and celebrate.
Yes.
I see James, Linda, Robert have also
Bob and Val. And Teresa, Amy's mom, welcome.
Oh, welcome.
And Tom, welcome, Tom and Bruce.
Barb is here. Barb and Dan from up in the mountains. They're here to join us as well. Ed, Russell, and Pat.
Oh, hey, Pat. And Fernando, hello. So I will say, I did January, I have been doing dry January until today. My husband, my sweet husband, actually got off work early, and many of you know that he is one of the brewers at Waterline Brewing, just under the bridge in downtown Wilmington.
I always like to say, a son-in-law who's a professional beer brewer, I mean, it doesn't get better than that, you know. And he has a degree in fermentation science. I wasted my time in engineering. I could have been anyway. That's all.
I know he's very smart. He is a very talented chemist. but he surprised me. He brought home a growler of this really beautiful Doppelbock.
Oh,
So I gave in. We're just a few days early. We're just a few days shy. So I am going to enjoy a pint of this beautiful dark lager. So I don't.
well, um,
I
let's,
almost made
yeah.
it.
Where do we leave off? We have some more people. We have Sally, Becky, and Martha to thank here for being with us. And,
And
and
Tom and Jenny,
Tom and
welcome
Jenny.
y'all. And my mom, Sandy's here.
That's right.
Hi, Mom.
My dear wife, tolerant, you
I
know,
love that the moms are here. I love it. I love it.
yeah. And make just keeping an eye on their, anyway,
Making sure
Mary
everything's on the up and up.
and Eric.
And Eric and Cindy, welcome y'all.
Well,
Ooh,
again,
and
don't forget
Diane.
if you can start a watch party and so your friends can learn about this. So let's talk a little bit about RMDs. And I'm going to kind of for a moment go to the iPad here to bring out to kind of show things a little more clearly. Sam, what kind of accounts do RMDs apply to?
RMDs are going to apply to any of your qualified accounts. These
Right.
are your tax deferred accounts, things where you put money into them without paying taxes. Some examples of this are you ready? You want to catch up?
I'm ready. Give me some of the
Okay.
names of some of those accounts.
Okay, so some of examples of this would be your any IRA, your 401ks, your 403bs, your TSPs,
Thrift saving plan.
yep,
Mhm.
or 457 plans. And there
Now,
might be a few
those
scratchers.
are all ones where when we put the money in, it was go away, Siri.
I didn't get that. Could you try again?
No, go away, go away. Boy, I tell you, these things are taking over, Um,
Play Go Away by Taylor is
yeah.
this thing.
Those are all plans where when you put the money in, you didn't pay taxes. You'll pay taxes when you come out. There's other plans where you pay the tax first, put it in, and when you take it out, it's tax free. What are those?
Ooh, these are some of my favorites. These are Roths.
Roths. So a standard Roth IRA.
Mm-hmm.
What other kind of Roths are there?
You have some employer sponsored Roths. These would be
Uh-huh.
things like your Roth 401k. I believe that they offer Roth 403bs. And didn't we just look it up and see that they offer Roth TSPs as
There's
well?
now a Roth
Yeah.
TSP. Now, when you get old enough, the government says you got to start taking money out of these, right?
Yeah.
Say you've had it tax deferred long enough, you got to start coughing up tax money to the government, because God knows we need it. Which ones of these do we have are we required to take money out at a given age? That new age is 72. We'll talk about that in a minute. But do you have to do it for IRAs?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
How about 401ks?
Yes.
How about 403bs?
Yes.
TSPs?
Yes.
457s?
Mm-hmm.
What about Roth IRAs?
Nope.
Nope. Roth IRAs, you do not have to take RMDs when you get to 70 and a half. Well, how about Roth 401ks?
Now, this is a tricky one. A
Mm.
Roth 401k, you do have to take RMDs.
Even though you don't pay tax on it, the government says you can't leave it in there growing tax-free anymore. You got to take it out. And that goes for Roth 403bs and Roth TSPs. That's one reason why when you get to retirement, if you've got Roth money in these other plans, you want to take it out and put it in a regular Roth IRA so you aren't forced to take money out of that tax-free world if you don't want to.
Bruce makes a good point as well, is that if you have an inherited Roth IRA, you are also required to take RMDs. And I do think that we're going to touch on this a little bit more.
And the rules have changed there too.
Mm-hmm.
Now, wait a second, where's my, oh, I see what happened. I went to the end.
Oh, no,
Okay.
to the end.
Now, here is how they figure out how much you need to take out.
Okay.
They use your life expectancy. Oops, that's not what I want to do. They use your life expectancy. So at age 70, well, let's go to 72. At age 72, they say your life expectancy is 25.6 years. Now let's think about that. This next little tidbit is something, if you go to cocktail parties and want to really impress your friends like I have over the years, you can tell them this. If you're 72 and your life, and you live for 25.6 more years, what does that come out to? That comes out to 97.6. Do you think
Wow.
the average 72-year-old is going to live to 97.6?
Well, you don't know these days.
Yeah, well, but
People
still,
are,
even
people
these
are
days.
living pretty healthy these days, but I would be skeptical, yes.
This is how it is calculated. This isn't the life expectancy for one person. It's the life expectancy for two people, joint life expectancy. And the whole RMD tables are based upon, say, a 72-year-old married to a 62-year-old. So they assume it's a joint life expectancy and you married someone 10 years younger. And if you really robbed the cradle and married someone, even younger still, we sometimes call that the Viagra generation, then you can, you got another set of tables you go to that make you take out even less. So a little bit of information there. Now, this is kind of interesting. Let's say you're 72 and your life expectancy is 25.6. So the way they calculate it is they say they're going to take 1 and divide it by 25.6. And that's going to equal 3.91%, approximately 4%. That's how they calculate life expectancy.
Or that's how they calculate how much.
That's how they calculate the RMDs, is they take your, now the trouble is usually the tables they give you don't show that. They just show this and they do a division, but
25.6. And you say, well, what does that mean for me?
right. Now,
how does that tell me what I need to take out?
You can see in this table that it starts at age 72 at 3.91%, and it keeps going up. When you're 85 at 6.76%, by the time you get into your 90s, it gets above 10%. One other little piece of trivia, next year, they have changed the table for the first time anybody can remember.
Whoa.
And now when you're 72, instead of it being 3.91, it's going to be 3.65 because they assume we're all living longer.
Yeah.
So that's a little bit there on some of the nitty gritty of life expectancy.
I had heard that was coming down the pipeline. I did not know that. I did not see that it had been officially.
Yep, this fall they announced it for next year.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let me switch to the whiteboard, and I want to talk about some other things that are really important to know when it comes.
Okay, I'll make myself small so you can be big.
When you get to 72.
Oh, hey, Dad. You still have this this table, this
I still do, don't I? It's got to stop
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
There we go. Is that better?
Yes.
Okay, now you can see me in
all your glory.
All my glory, so to speak. There is some rules, different rules for how you take money out of IRAs and 401ks, 403bs, and other things that you really need to be aware of. And that rule is if 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 you have, say, 3 IRAs, maybe one is in a income fund, one is in an aggressive growth fund, and one is in an annuity with an income rider you want to turn on later. Let's say you turn 72 and you've got to take 4% out of each. So you got to take 4,000 out of this one. This one requires 4,000. If I calculate, this one requires 4,000. That's $12,000 total RMDs I need to take for the year. If they are all IRAs, I can say I'm going to take all 12,000 out of this account. Maybe that's my growth account and we've had a good year and we want to take it out and spend it and capture the gains. I can take it all out of there. I don't have to take it out of these two. However, if you have a 401, if the money is in 401ks, 403b, SEP, simples, almost anything else, you're going to have to take 4,000 out of each account separately. You can't aggregate them.
Ah, so you lose a little bit of that flexibility that you have.
Correct. Here's another quick thing. What happens if you're stubborn and you just say, I don't care, I'm 72, I don't need the money, I'm going to leave it in there?
Ooh, that's not a good idea.
Not a good idea. Here's what,
not a good idea.
Here's what sort of happens, or here's what will happen. Let's say you had $1 million in your IRA and you were supposed to take out $40,000 and you didn't. The IRS is going to impose a penalty of 50% on the amount you were going to take out. So they're going to fine you $20,000 for not taking it out, but you still owe tax on that 40,000. And let's say you were in the 25% tax bracket, you would owe 10,000 in tax. You would end up losing $30,000 total out of that $44,000 because you didn't take an RMD. So boy, you don't want to miss it. And I'll tell you, when you get up here, if you got a lot of odd accounts and you forget one, you can see what happens.
Yeah, we have people who come to us all the time who have kind of a myriad of 401ks that they've accumulated over the years, because it's kind of easy just to leave them behind. And that's one of the things that we talk about, Dad, right? Is that the 401ks are really a good place for you to be accumulating your money, but they're not really built for distributing your money.
That's right. You know, the 401ks, 403bs, the government doesn't want to be holding your money for another 30, 40 years. That's not what it's designed. So that's why the rules aren't as favorable. And so you should really consider the advantages of getting it out of there once you retire.
Hey, Dad, can I just take 1 second?
Mm-hmm.
Martha, if you married 10 years older than yourself, you and your spouse would have a separate RMD table that you would work from.
Yeah.
Than what we looked at just now.
Yeah, get to take out a little bit less. At least from their IRA anyway.
Yes. And Pat, this is a huge one. You can never put your RMD into a Roth. Any Roth conversions have to come after your RMDs.
Above the RMD amount. Another reason why you want to do that earlier before the RMDs kick in, when you can take advantage of the taxes being lower.
Mm-hmm. And Dad, I don't know if I have the answer to this. If you are of RMD age and you are still working and putting money into a 401k, how does that fit into your RMD situation?
We'll answer that real quick. I didn't try to do everything because we only got half an hour, and boy, I could bore you forever on all the rules of 401. And that, by the way, I should mention, this is an overview. You shouldn't do this at home without consulting your financial advisor, your tax person. We're just we're just skimming the stone across the top of these rules. But if you are working and you have a 401k with the company, you do not have RMDs until after you retire. And at the same time, if you retire at 55 or 56, you can take money out of your 401k without having a 10% penalty. There's a whole bunch of rules we haven't talked about. That's why you really got to go see someone, because the minutia. But one question we had from someone was that, hey, how does it work? When do I have to take the money out? You know, especially that first year when you go in.
Yeah, they were confused about why is April? They had the
And
end
it
of
is
April
confusing.
as this date.
So let's say at the end of 2020, which is where they calculate the RMDs, let's say you had $1 million in your IRA. And in 2021, you turned 72. How much, and let's say you had already had an income of $80,000 from pension, Social Security, and everything. When you're 72, how much are they going to have to take out about, Sam?
About $40,000, just under.
They're going to have to take out about $40,000
$39,000
year, which when you add these two together will give them a taxable $120,000 in income that'll be taxed. And they may say, well, gosh, I really don't need this $40,000 right now. I want to wait. Well, one of the things they can do that first year is they can say, oh, I won't take it out this year. I'll wait to April 1st of next year, and then I'll take it out. So their income this year remains at $80,000. But here's the thing. They're going to take the 40,000 out here. But here's the thing, at the end of this year, they're going to have to take another 40,000 out, because that's their RMD for 2022, right? This is 2021. This is 2022. This is going to be $80,000. And now when we bring their salary in, they're going to have $160,000 in taxable income, which will probably drive them even to a higher tax bracket. So delaying it to the next year for most people is not the right thing to do. You're better off getting it to that year. We've had people, though, that have had deferred compensation coming and things like that. And this was a really good year, so we did put it off. But in general, that's not a good thing for most people. And then in 2023, they're going to have to take another 40,000 out. And each year thereafter. That April 1st trick only works the first year. And you will owe tax on it in that taxable year. If you haven't been filing quarterly taxes, one of the things you can do is when you take it out, you can tell the company that's giving it to you to take the tax out, so they'll pay the tax on it automatically then, or you may have to file a quarterly tax report, and they get complicated. You got to see your tax person on that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, got one more thing. I think we can probably squeeze in. One or two more things. Let's say you are, one of the things they said, why should you worry about this if you're younger? Okay. Well, let's say you're 52. And let's say you have $250,000 in your IRA. And let's say you earn 7.2% on that money. You've invested it aggressively. And over the next 10 years, when you're 62, you have earned 7.2. Anybody know what the rule of 72 is? Sam, how much money will they have at age 62?
Double that.
Double that. So they'll have $500,000.
500,000.
Okay. And then they go to age 72 when RMD kicks in, and they earn 7.2% again. How much will they have then? Double 500, or 1 million, and now they're going to have the $40,000 RMD due. So even if you're younger and you're contributing to an IRA and it's growing and you don't need it and you let it grow, you end up with this big tax bill at the end. So you want to have a strategy to convert to a Roth or contribute to a Roth. The big thing for most people on this call is if you retire between 60 and 72, you'll have years where you can do strategic Roth conversions. We've done other talks on that. We've got some at our website at rogo.com where we talk about Roth conversions, and you can go there and watch the videos on that. One last thing, real quick. The rules changed last year for RMDs on inherited IRAs. As someone mentioned, you got to take RMDs on inherited IRAs. So let's say that you were 85 and you had $1 million in your IRA and you died. All right. And let's say your son or daughter was 55. Well, the old rules said they could take a little bit of money out at a time over their lifespan. They could stretch that IRA out. And a lot of people plan to leave money that way for their kids. The new rules say if you're 85 and you've got $1 million in your IRA and your son or daughter is 55, they're going to have to take all the money out in 10 years. So by the time they're 65, they've got to drain that IRA to zero.
Hey, Dad, do they have to do it evenly each year?
They don't. And that's where the opportunity comes in. Okay.
Ooh.
Now, what hurts you if it's a regular IRA is, well, it's probably going to mean that your son or daughter is going to pay a lot more tax because they got to take a whole lot of money out at once rather than slowly, even if they divide it up over 10 years. But the rules aren't so much a year. It's just you got 10 years to do it. There are RMDs for Roth IRAs too. There always have been. They want to get the money out of the tax-free world into the taxable world. But if you have money here if you leave your son or daughter a Roth IRA, they can leave it in there for 10 years and get 10 years of tax-free growth, and then they can take it out tax-free. So if you leave them Roth money, this new law allows you to get 10 years of tax-free growth, where before they had to start taking it out. Now they can leave it there for 10 years, let it grow tax-free, and then on the 11th hour, take it all out. So again, you got to know how to play the game. Rules are complicated. You got to know how to play the game.
So if inheritance is really important for you, Roth is a really good tool for that.
Roth is good money to leave to your spouse. It's good money to leave to the end because taxes will be higher, and so that's a good thing. We talk about it a lot. Hey, couple offers if you're on the call. One is we have the tax numbers, the tax table numbers and everything updated for 2021. If you want a copy, Amy will tell you how to get it. We also will mail you a roadmap to retirement, one of our sheets. If you like this, Amy will tell you how to get it. We can mail both. We can email this one, so Amy, how can they get a hold of these?
I'm going to put it in the chat, but they can send us an email at info@carolinarp.com, or if they call the office, if that's easier, they can talk to myself.
There's the office number, 815-3100.
We'll get it
the old-fashioned way, say, hey, send me this stuff.
Yep.
I also noticed that there are a lot of questions that came in the chat that we just did not have time to get to today. And if you want to have a chance to ask those questions, You can book a call on David's calendar for just 15 minutes to get a chance to ask those questions one-on-one. And a lot of times they're, specific to your specific situation.
Yeah, if you, most of our clients, we have done all this fancy analysis for, and we're looking, we have spreadsheets that we calculate taxes. If you're on this call and you're not a client and you just want a second opinion on your tax situation and what you're doing, no cost or obligation, call that 815-3100 or send us an email, and we'll book a 15-minute call to chat, and if we can do a further analysis from that. But we offer that to folks that are kind enough to come and laugh at our jokes for half an hour on a Thursday afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
So what's next, Sam?
Ooh, next is my personal favorite part, is our wine drawing. So those of you who throughout the week have responded to our emails, though I believe that if you've been asking questions in our chat today, if you've been responding to our emails with potential future topics, questions you wanted to know about, for the topic today, we had a lot of you this week actually forward our emails to friends. And for that, you actually get 2 entries into our wine drawing. So we saw a lot of that this week. If, pretty much, or if you message us on Facebook and say, enter me into the wine drawing. So pretty much any way that you want to let us know that you want your name in this bucket, we want to get it in here. So you will win if your name is the lucky name that I pick right now. You're going to win 2 bottles of wine shipped directly to your door from Fermental Bottle Shop. They are located here in Ogden, a really cool family-owned bottle shop. We really love giving them our business and support. And our lucky winner this week is Ellen and John Paul. So congratulations, Ellen and John.
Congratulations, yes.
You are our wine winners this week. I know that I've seen your name a handful of times, and this is your first win. So congratulations. And for those of you who have not won yet, please keep entering. I look forward to getting
friends, come back. Like I say, we do this. By the way, the last 30 or 29 plus this one now are recorded on Facebook. You can go back and watch them. Also at that website, rogo.com. I've done little 7 to 15 minute videos on the board here from my classes that I taught over the years. And you can go in and we've held workshops at UNCW and Brunswick Community College, and you can watch some snippets from those workshops. So
yep. And on this page, there should be, if you look around on our Facebook page, you should be able to click videos. I don't know exactly where it is, but somewhere up at the top, it should say videos, and you should be able to click it and kind of.
It is up at the top. Yep.
Up at the top.
Yeah, it's a little.
I hope we made RMDs about as interesting as you can. We may have to have a follow-up or something. Maybe we're probably getting close to need a general question and answer session, because we build them
Another
up.
grab bag.
Another grab bag question session. And if there's something you'd like to see covered, send us an email or put it in the chat and let us know, hey, I'd like to hear a topic on this. We did Bitcoin a couple of weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago. That was an interesting one. Do Sam, that day when she was watching it, it was falling. That day, Bitcoin fell 30%. Mm-hmm. It was an interesting, it was the next week, it fell 30%. So anyhow, good fun. Enjoyed everybody. If we can give you a second opinion on taxes, give us a holler. And other than that, I think we are at 5:03. It is time to just say cheers and
cheers.
We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.